Oh, I bet you thought this series was over, huh? I bet you thought that was it. It hasn't been updated in months. He sold that poor school bus. Now it's gone forever. Well, I don't know if you watched all my other videos, but maybe you caught the fact that me selling that stuff off was kind of a lottery. I had a 3/4 ton 71 Dodge van-based Chinook camper. Had a regular short wheelbase 3/4 ton 74 Dodge, like just plain old work van. Well, both of those sold. And this school bus, despite me putting the price down at a very reasonable price and then going even lower to an unreasonable price, still didn't sell. So, whoop. So I'm keeping her. Yep. This 71 Dodge. It's the last year they made this guy. And this was you can see on the sign right here, D300, which means it's a regular 1-ton chassis. And you can see this short bus is very short. Don't worry, I'm going to take off the tarp here in a minute. I'm trying to wait all day to see if some clouds would come out and I could get a softer sunlight, but no, it's going to be some nice harsh stuff for right now. Anyway, you can see this thing. You can already tell the tires need some air. Thank God these are regular 16-inch rims, so I can actually get tires. They're not the half size, which is a good deal. Windshield obviously needs to be fully replaced. The hood and front fenders are fixable, but I've been looking for at least a donor hood, because there's just a lot of rottenness on the underside here, and I'm not really that good of a welder yet. I'll get there. Heck, if I fix this thing up, I'll be a great welder by the time I'm done with it. But yeah, let me go ahead and take the tarp off, and we'll show you what this thing looks like all the way. So as you can see, this 71 Dodge D300 built into a school bus by Thomas and called the Mite. You can see how short this thing really is. It's a regular old 133-inch wheelbase, which for a modern truck would be closest to extended cab long bed truck. Yeah, see, not very long, not even a crew cab. So this is pretty much all original, as far as I can tell anyway. You know, it looks like these things have lived multiple lives by the time you get them. And this one is definitely, it was a school bus probably for a while. It might have been a prison bus. Might have been a church bus. I'm not exactly sure. It was also a camper when I first got it. And you can see right here where someone had painted the roof blue, and they had camper shelves they had put in there. But where the shelves are, you can see probably what was the original interior paint, which is like white with a little bit of green in it. I don't know, anything to depress kids on their way to school. Had some kind of stereo in it, which that won't stay. It doesn't even have a chair left anymore. It did come with a big, like, captain's chair maybe from an actual boat, but probably from an RV or a bus or something. I don't know. I might use it. It's a little over the top, but we'll see. Still got this school heater thing in here, which I'm debating whether or not to keep. I'll probably lose that. I mean, I'll probably keep some kind of heat, but I don't know. This is going to be more of a place to live in than a place to travel in. Like, it's going to do way more living than traveling. So, I mean, it might be nice to have a backup heat that all you have to do is run the engine for a little while. But it is a gas engine, and then that invites fumes, and it's its own thing. So, I don't know how many miles it has. It originally was a stick shift. You can see that there's a third pedal down there. It was originally a 4-speed with a granny gear, according to the VIN plate. And this shifter thingy here, I don't even know what this is. It's some hodgepodge of parts. It controls an automatic transmission. It looks like a 727. It also looks like a 318 engine, even though it's got some 360 stuff on it, like a 360 carb. I really got to figure out the real differences between those. I have to put them like next to each other to get like definitive differences. I don't know, maybe I just don't know enough yet. I have a 318 block and enough parts to build a pretty hefty engine. Anyway, this has still got the same old style door. And the steps are in pretty good shape. The whole bus part is in really good shape, actually, you know, because it's some heavy duty steel. You know, even though these got these windows cut out, I don't know how structural those windows are. The roof itself is very structural, and the front and back main posts, those are super strong. You know, these were designed to withstand a rollover. You can see the floor. I've partially pulled this rubber stuff off, and underneath I've found some rust, but it's not that bad. There's no actual like rust through, except for little pinholes. So I'm probably going to wind up sealing it up. Well, once I get the all the trim off of the edges and get all that rubber off, I'm going to wind up sanding it down, cleaning it up, rust treating it with some kind of rust converter, and then putting a hardwood floor on top of it. Again, this thing is height challenged, so I'm going to try to keep the hardwood floor as thin as I can. Yeah, so you can see it's got a dash. I have another one of these dashes that came out of a RV that's much nicer than this one. So, but it's plastic. Like it's the same design. It's just plastic. This one's metal. So my other one might just wind up being a parts donor. You may have seen some earlier videos of this thing before I got it all cleaned out. This is an update from that, but also kind of a redirection. I was originally talking about making this into a portable venue. You know, anything's possible down the road, and a lot of the stuff that I build into this thing are going to be, you know, things that aren't 100% permanent. Like if I put a bed in here of some sort, it'll be the kind of thing that I can pull back out. The permanent stuff I put in is going to be the wiring and the floors and the lighting. Yeah, so you can see right over here, there's a CB, which, you know, probably still works. Oh, little wasp trying to mess with me. There's a Thomas Built Buses thing here, which I'll try to get to focus. There we go. It says on there 1170, and then it's got a VIN number, which is totally different than the VIN number for the actual vehicle. It says capacity of 20. I'm going to guess that's not 20 adults. That's probably 2 or 3 adults and 17 or 18 children. Like small kids. This thing is not big. Oh, look at that. All by himself. I'm about to get killed. I'm not going to swat him though. I'm going to get him with the shop vac. If y'all ever have any trouble with wasps or hornets and shit, just get a shop vac and suck them out of there. I got some freaking stink bugs in here too, and that's the best thing to do with stink bugs. Just get them out of there with a vacuum. You definitely don't want to squish a stink bug. So yeah, look, there's a whole thing up in here. So this one did not have lights in the front. You can't see that really very well here, but it does not have lights. That wiring looks original-ish. It does have a motor though for the overhead wipers. Obviously the windshield needs to be replaced, but you know, obviously it needs a chair. I'm pretty sure that orange you see on the floor there is the original color. It's been repainted a few times. Well, this is definitely not original paint. But yeah, tiny little school bus. It's essentially just a 1-ton truck, which means you could probably tow some stuff too. Let's get into the hood. Like I said, there's a 318 under there with a 727, but it's not original. I mean, the engine might be, but I doubt it. I'm going to guess somebody grabbed the combo out of something else, so I don't know anything about that. The previous owner told me it drove to where it was parked for, I don't know, like 10 years before I got it. And when I bought it, it did not have an intake on it. A buddy of mine and I did manage to get it to turn over, and we got it to crank, but we did not get it to fire. And I'm pretty sure the points, it is still a points distributor. I'm pretty sure the points were worn out or corroded or just not firing. But especially in this 1-ton version, and well, the way it's raised up and everything, like actually getting to that distributor is not fun, especially if you're a big old fat guy. Even for a skinny monkey guy, like, you know, it still sucks. I prefer the big blocks where the distributor is right up front. And this thing might get a big block. Man, I really wish I had my low miles 413 that I had for years. That thing would be sweet in here. Maybe I can find another 413 RV motor. That would be cool. I would find a way to put the giant radiator in if it was in good shape. You know, then I'd have maximum cooling and it would never overheat. So yeah, this is a 318, isn't it? I can never frickin' tell. Like, is that the balancer for the 318 or the 360? Tell me in the comments if you know the difference just by looking at it. But someone told me, and I confirmed it. This is what they would. This is the 2-barrel carb they would normally put on the 360. It's the Holly 2-barrel something or other. Okay, so this has got a booster for drums all the way around. It's got this transistor regulator thing here, which I think is some kind of governor. But I don't know why it would really need a governor, because unless the governor keeps it going super slow, because, you know, 318 with this thing full of kids and it's got a 4, 5, 6 rear gear, it wasn't getting much faster than 50 anyway. But anyway, someone's added an electric fuel pump, which tells me the gas tank is probably shot. Usually that's a last-ditch effort before you clean or replace the tank. At least that's in my experience. It's got a pretty beefy alternator here. Fortunately, it's been painted. And then whoever mounted it did a lovely job. Kind of looks like a little home deal. I mean, look, you see a painted hose and you're like, oh, okay. What are you trying to cover up? I think someone just put a junkyard motor in here and slapped all the stuff on top that was on the other motor on it, and biggity bam. From stick to automatic. And you can see on the firewall back there, that's where it used to have the manual stuff mount. Yeah. Still got it's got, you know, tons of vacuum lines and stuff going on, and it's got a regulator and whatnot. I'm not really sure what my plans are for this motor. I honestly, it might be more interesting to pull this 318 and 727 out if it runs good and put it in my daily truck, because its motor is having some troubles. It's been feeling kind of weak lately. It was rebuilt, but it was rebuilt by someone at home. Who knows what kind of a job they did. I'm starting to be really suspicious that a lot of the stuff they did was kind of hacked together as I own the truck. Anyway, you can see the hood here, kind of rotten under the edge. Kind of make a better piece of wall art than an actual hood. It's dented in the very middle. But that's not, I think that's just because these hoods didn't have very good framing. You can see right here, this fender is rotten right here. Probably from stuff getting kicked up and like left in a clump there, just from the driving. Same thing along here, but not as bad, and it's more spread out. It's not as much in the back. Let's see what else we got here. Got a pretty heavy duty radiator. Got the VIN plate over here. Sorry about the sun there. Oh, we'll get back in the shade. Got the VIN plate here. You can look at there, see all the options and stuff. Pretty interesting things going on. Actually, that's a. Yeah, that is the VIN plate. It's not the. It doesn't have. I don't think it has the options other than to tell you that it's got the 456 Spicer 70 and a 318-1, or at least it originally had a 318-1. Again, I don't know what this one is. I guess it's a 65 amp alternator, which for 1971, for something that originally probably didn't have a PA or a stereo or anything, that's quite a bit. Fancy a battery. Oh, it does have low speed governor. Oh, that's the first time I've seen that. That was an option. So this does have the options, and then it has some kind of special muffler. Interesting. Vacuum tank. Oh yeah, that's on there. A little vacuum tank expansion. For the for the suspension or something. I don't know. But it's under there. And then the fan shroud, I guess that's an option too. Interesting. All right, so there we go. There's your VIN plate with your VIN number and then the different things it has. Aye. So, yeah. Give it a little once around. Shut this hood here. $1971 Dodge, sent to Thomas and made into a Mite. Short wheelbase, supposedly one of the shortest buses they ever made. And they actually never made them this light duty again. The only light duty ones they made were van based, not truck based. So yeah, that means in '72 when they switched the body styles, they never made one that's like my later swept line, or what they call a tin grill. They never made a tin grill version of these. They were van based. And then I think the larger school buses were then based on their larger platform, which had different fenders and everything. Yeah, anything from 400 on bigger. That's it right there. That's where she sits today. And this is going to be my my living quarters. I'm going to get running and drive out to my property. Oh, should be plenty of room for me. We'll talk about more of those details in the next video.